Orca is a desktop app that runs Claude Code, Codex, Gemini, and a long list of other terminal agents side by side, each one working inside its own copy of your repo. It comes from Stably, a Y Combinator-backed team. It's MIT licensed, and it costs nothing. The GitHub repo is sitting at about 50,000 stars right now. I've had it on my Mac for a while, so the docs describe it as an agent development environment rather than an IDE, and the difference matters more than the name suggests. A normal editor assumes one person typing in one checkout. Orca assumes 3 or 4 agents working at once, so every task gets its own Git worktree, its own agent terminal, and its own browser tab. It's not a model, and it's not a Git replacement. You bring your own Claude or Codex subscription, and every worktree is a real Git worktree you can CD into and run plain Git commands on. Downloads live on onorca.dev/download, and there are more options than most people expect. macOS has separate builds for Apple Silicon and Intel. Windows gets a normal setup exe. Linux has an app image and a .deb file, and older builds are all on the GitHub releases page. I'm on Apple Silicon, so I'm grabbing that DMG. But if you like homebrew, the cask is Stably i/orca/orca, and it gets bumped on every stable release. Drag it to Applications, open it, and macOS might ask you to confirm once because it's an Electron app. It's signed and notarized, so that prompt is normal. First Launch does 3 things worth watching. It asks for access to your home directory so it can add repos. It offers to import your existing .claude and .codex config, plus your ghosty terminal settings if you have them. And then it drops you on an empty screen where you add your first project. Updates run automatically on the stable channel. But if you want the newer stuff, shift-clicking Check for Updates pulls the latest release candidate build, and those ship almost daily. The agent picker is where this starts to feel different from a terminal. Hitting New tab gives me Claude, Codex, OpenCode, GitHub Copilot, Gemini, Cursor CLI, Anti-Gravity, and more. The docs list over 30 pre-configured, and it also scans your machine and marks the ones you already have installed. Anything that runs in a terminal will work anyway, because the picker is just launching a process. One thing I'd flag before you start clicking around. Orca pre-fills the permission bypass flag for each agent by default, so Claude launches with dangerously skip permissions, and Codex launches with its equivalent. The reasoning in the docs is that worktrees are disposable, so an agent can experiment in its own checkout without asking you 40 times. That's fine for a side project and not fine for a work repo. Settings, then agents, then agent permissions flips everything between YOLO and manual, and it leaves alone any agent where you already set custom launch arguments. Now let me add a project. I've got an admin panel here for a logistics company. I point Orca at the folder, and it detects the setup command from packagelock.json and offers to save npm install as a setup script so it runs whenever a new worktree gets created. That small thing saves a lot of pain later. Creating a workspace opens a dialog where you name the task, pick what to branch from, and choose which agent starts in it. Start from can be your base ref, another local branch if you're stacking on top of a PR in review, a specific commit, or a remote branch that Orca fetches for you. You can also paste a GitHub, Linear, Jira, or GitLab link right in the name field, and the branch name gets derived from that ticket. I submit it, the dialog closes immediately, and the git fetch and worktree add run in the background while I keep working. Fresh worktrees have one real problem, and Orca handles it in a way I wish more tools did. A new checkout has no node modules and no .m file, because those are Git ignored. So there's an orca.yaml at the repo root where you list shared directories like node modules and .cache, and those get symlinked or clone copied instead of reinstalled. Then there's a separate .worktree include file for Git ignored files you want copied rather than shared. So each worktree owns its own .env and its own local settings. Only literal paths work today, no globs. I'll start a Claude Code tab in this worktree and ask it to add a driver status filter to the shipments table with idle, in transit, and offline as options, plus a count badge on each. This is real Claude Code running in a real terminal with my own account. Nothing routes through Orca's servers. The terminal itself is the same xterm.js engine VS Code uses, but they've added the Kitty keyboard protocol, which means Shift-Enter and Control-Enter actually reach the agent the way they do in Ghosty or WesTerm. Command / splits right, Command Shift / splits down, and Command F searches the entire scrollback with regex. While that runs, the tab title shows live state, working, waiting for input, completed, or completed but unread. That status also shows in the sidebar, so I'm not tabbing between windows, guessing which agent stalled 20 minutes ago, waiting for a permission prompt. Unread worktrees get bolded instead of badged, which sounds trivial until you have 8 of them open. While Claude works on that filter, I can create a second workspace off the same base ref and hand the identical prompt to Codex, then a third one to OpenCode. 3 separate branches, 3 separate folders on disk, none of them touching each other's files. And the point isn't speed. It's that different agents fail differently on the same task. Codex tends to write the tighter state logic here. Claude tends to handle the component structure better, and I don't know which one wins until I read both diffs. So I let them finish, open each diff view, and keep the branch that solved it cleanly. The other 2 worktrees get deleted with one click, folder and branch together. Command J opens a jump palette that filters across all of them by name, which is what makes 10 open worktrees manageable instead of chaotic. This is the workflow that used to mean manual git worktree add and a tmux config nobody wanted to maintain. Design mode is the feature I'd actually miss if I went back. Each worktree gets its own embedded Chromium tab, so I run the dev server and the page sits next to the agent building it. Turning on design mode makes the cursor a picker, and clicking any element captures its outer HTML, its computed CSS including colors, fonts, and spacing, a cropped screenshot of just that element, and the source file and line if a dev mode source map exists. All of that lands in the agent chat as one attachment. So instead of writing 3 paragraphs explaining which table header is misaligned, I click the header and type fix the alignment. The agent edits, the page hot reloads. I click again to check. Reviewing what came back happens in the same window. The diff view compares against whatever ref the worktree started from, and you can drop markdown comments directly on diff lines, batch them, and send them back to the agent as instructions. There's also attribution tracking that marks which lines came from an agent versus which ones you typed. When it looks right, you commit and push from Orca, and it talks to GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, and Azure DevOps for pull requests and check status. The status bar tracks something else that's become a daily concern. Orca reads the usage state each agent writes to disk under .claude and .codex and the Gemini and OpenCode equivalents, and shows how close you are to your limits. It covers 5-hour, daily, and weekly windows, sorts providers so the tightest limit shows first, and throws a warning chip at 80%. There's no extra auth and no API calls, so the numbers are only as fresh as the agent's own bookkeeping. Codex accounts can also be hot-swapped without logging out and back in. A few more things exist that I won't demo properly here. There's an orchestration skill that lets one agent hand work to another with full context, including agents running in different worktrees, or split independent work across parallel child agents. There's a scheduled automations tab, basically cron for agents, with templates for repo audits and stuck work checks. SSH worktrees let the agents run on a bigger remote box while the interface stays on your laptop, with port forwarding and auto reconnect. And the mobile companion pairs over your network or tailscale so you can approve an agent's next step from your phone. Downsides are real and worth saying out loud. Worktrees eat disk, so the Resource Manager cleanup screen is not optional once you've made 30 of them. The permission defaults are aggressive. The panel density is a lot on a 13-inch screen, and parts like the mobile relay are still young. But the core idea holds up. Watching 3 agents work separate branches of the same logistics dashboard, reviewing each diff in the same window, and shipping the one that got it right is a workflow I don't want to give up. Alright, so that's it from the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.